Hail, Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Season 1, Episode 4. Is this not real magic?
I think you start off by telling us how that's a quote from Tolkien, right?
Right, of course. Of course, that's it's Aragorn. No, anyway. We open with stage magician Donny Blaze, not Johnny Blaze, who we learn was kicked out of Camartage, using a sling ring to open a portal in his act, sending audience member Madison into another plane. We end with Jennifer finding out she's being sued for trademark infringement by Titania, and our post-credit scene is Madison and Wong watching TV on the couch, kind of a Disney Plus and chill situation. But in any case, Paul,
yes.
What did you think of episode 4?
Not much better than last week, unfortunately. I'm starting to feel like maybe this is the level at which the series is going to continue, and that's disappointing. I was not that I didn't think that Madison was such a great addition to the show.
Yes.
And I feel like they missed an opportunity with Wong. You know, they could have shown a different side. Like, you know, this show didn't take much of a different tack than, you know, sort of like in the first Doctor Strange movie with Wong, which is sort of like the comedy comes from being annoying to Wong, you know.
Right.
And,
right.
you know, it's like you could. It'd be nice if you saw a different side of him that was also humorous. You know, like there's another bit that they do where it's like, okay, he likes Hulk up burning fudge or whatever. He likes things that you wouldn't necessarily think that he likes, like Beyonce and stuff like that. Like, okay, fine, you know, you can explore that how, you know, and he's interested in The Sopranos. Okay, that's fine. But I didn't think that was especially good. And you know, the romance storyline wasn't especially interesting. You know, it's. I think it's a good. These are all good topics for a show. I just, you know, don't think they went far enough. Last week I brought up a sort of superhero comedy show that I quite like, but another sort of at least genre comedy show that, you know, the creator of the show comes from is Rick and Morty. You know, and I wish they could be as adventurous as that show.
I just watched the first episode of season 6, I believe it is. Well done. It's funny.
Yeah, it's a
funny show.
Yeah.
And,
and you know, like Harley Quinn, they're certainly not afraid, and it's something they're not going to do on the MCU is to have death be a joke.
Right.
You know, if you're going to do it, you want to do it well. But they don't do that here. You know, they could have had somebody die as a result of those, you know, those beasts.
The demons.
And they didn't. So it's just sort of like, boy, this is annoying. Yep, it's annoying.
It's a little weird too. So, you know, the whole point is, we're worried that this guy is going to do something, break the fabric of reality, so we're going to sue him in civil court. It's like, I don't know, like, suing this guy to keep him, you know.
And the point that it is like, stop doing it. And it's like, what if you took that sling ring away from him? Would that do
Right,
it?
exactly. There's so many ways you could just do it. But instead, it's like, because it's a comedic premise. That's what it is. It's just, we want to do which feels more like a premise for like a little 3 or 4 minute comedy sketch as opposed to a show or even a half-hour episode. You're like, okay, you know, take that out. Let's assume they lose the case. Yeah. All right, we lost the case. I guess we'll just continue letting him bring demons into the world. Okay.
Yeah.
No, the reality that you built on MCU, that would never be an option. So it's weird. Yeah. It's just for comedy, and you're like, okay, but then if you're gonna do that, if it kind of doesn't really mean anything, then you need a bunch of these. This should be like one of 5 or 6 cases per episode. Oh, we got a cameo from Hawkeye. Oh, we got a cameo from so-and-so. Oh, that's a funny little premise. Hawkeye lost his arrows, kind of like the dad was talking about. Oh, no, whatever. But it's too long for a comedic sketch, and it's not long enough to actually be like relevant and important.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're taking it seriously enough to be the good basis for a comedy show, you know? It's like, or a comedy premise anyway. It's like, yeah, do the work, you know, to make it like, okay, yes, why are you doing this legally? What avenues did you try before, you know? Because this shouldn't be the first time you run into a problem like this.
Right.
You know, and it's like, so Jennifer apparently didn't interview this witness before she got her up there, right?
Agreed. Well, okay, so yeah, you're talking about Madison.
Like yeah.
And this is my personal opinion, and you know, all comedy is subjective. What I find funny, someone else may not, vice versa. I get that. So this is not like this is objectively not funny, whatever.
Right.
But the drunk person saying drunk things trope, it feels uninspired. It feels lazy, and there's a difference. Like, okay, if we get to know a character sober, and then that character becomes drunk or high or somehow loses their filter, and so we get to see what the character's actually thinking and feeling. It's like a device to like learn the truth about that character. Okay, that's cool, and you can see some, you know, it's an effective use of the like, I closed the bar down last night. Okay, cool. But for Madison, it just feels like the character, like the actor maybe said like, hey, I can do a drunk character. And then somebody's like, that's funny, just do that the whole time. And it's just like somebody who's just drunk all the time and like saying drunk, I'm not a fan. So I was actually tempted to fast forward it. I was like kind of getting annoyed, like, this is really annoying. So that's...
Now, in the show's defense, you don't drink.
Yeah, that's true. I don't drink, but it's not like I have some hatred for people that do.
Drink.
I don't know.
I do drink, and it's part of the reason why I drink is like, boy, I say stupid things when I'm drunk. So I probably have more of a tolerance than you. But I feel like even then you want to have it rooted in something, and I don't think that character really was rooted in very much.
I think that's it. That's the character trope is I'm always going to have a drink in my hand. I'll always be a little slurred speech, and I'll just say loopy stuff, and then people just pass it off. Oh, she's drunk. Yeah. Which also, I'll just say this isn't exactly analogous to Madison, but in improv training, so in doing improv comedy, I've done it for years.
Sure.
One of my little unofficial rules is that when I'm on stage playing with someone,
yes,
I never make that person drunk or high or something or crazy, because if I do that in a scene, if somebody's like, "Oh my God, Bigfoot just robbed my house," you're drunk. I've just totally minimized everything they say, and I can just explain it away. And like, it's much more interesting to be like, "Oh my God, Bigfoot's in your house? Let's go check it out." Whatever. You know, embrace that as opposed to just, "Oh, the drunk person's saying drunk stuff." Okay. Anyway, so that's part of where my thinking goes to when I see somebody doing that in a comedy sketch or show. I'm like, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, wasn't a fan of that whole comedic premise there. Like, this is the weakest one they've had of the 4 episodes. To me, this did not work in a lot of ways.
And seeing Marklin Baker probably didn't. It was only a minor.
We got Larry back. There's Larry. All right, woo! Bring on Balky and the shovel. I don't know. It's coming. I will say this about that scene that was interesting, how Jennifer feels awfully confident about her abilities now. It's interesting. Like, she didn't call the cops. She's humoring her dad kind of to agree to be more careful.
Yes.
That usually means that there's a comeuppance coming for the hero, right? I mean, that usually when you get like, the hero gets really overconfident, something brings him back to earth. I don't know if that's what the show is going to do, but...
right. Yeah, I mean, one of the things you might think... Well, okay, she's not really... it didn't mean anything to her when she got stabbed, so she doesn't know that she should be curious about that. So she's not that concerned for some reason that she's being targeted.
Right, so she's targeted, right?
Yeah,
which I might. Oh, go ahead.
It's not unreasonable for her, not to necessarily know that.
No, it's not unreasonable. It's just an interesting. It's an interesting development for her character to be look at this. I'm invulnerable. I'm cool. Whatever.
Yeah,
4 guys attacked me in my parking lot.
Right. But you can also see this as part of her. Like, hey, I'm not a superhero, so you know,
Yeah.
I shouldn't be looking around thinking, oh, is someone going to come after me? It's like, why? Why are you coming after me?
Right. Yeah. Why would you possibly? Yeah. Which I think comes up to that one of her matcher dates, the one who's like asking about like, well, what if I had vibranium? Could I puncture your skin then? I think that's one of this for the wrecking crew or whatever they were called, because that was the whole point. Is they couldn't puncture her skin. I think he saw that she was on a match dating site and decided, hey, what's the best way? It's actually a pretty smart way. How do I go get information about her strengths and weaknesses? I'll do a date. There we go. So anyway, I'm thinking that might have been a thing.
You know, I kind of liked, you know, the Cornelius Willows, the mentor of the film magician. You know, I kind of like that, the actor there. That could have been something if they'd developed it more.
I would say the part that made me laugh maybe the most, or the part that I found most humorous, was the fact that, like, so they had Cornelius and Donnie Blaze and the attorney all sitting at the table, and they're all doing magic. So it was like even the attorney is doing like scarf tricks. That was pretty funny. I was like, all right, check, well done. We need an attorney who's a magician. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's really like you need some version of you got to have a gimmick from Gypsy in there, you know, to be a lawyer.
Right. That's awesome. Just one thing on the development at the end of the show. So Jennifer gets served.
Wong.
Not the Wong development, but the Jennifer getting served with this complaint.
Yes.
So Titania has apparently gone out, purchased the rights to the name She-Hulk.
Yes.
And is now suing for, trademark infringement. So what is the point of that? Is it just for a big payday? Like I remember this is maybe urban legend. I'm not going to say this is true because I haven't looked it up, but I was told this back in the day that sometime during the 1990s, somebody did a little research on trademarks and realized that 20th Century Fox had apparently not purchased the rights to 21st Century Fox. And so they did. And then when it came time to they just waited. And when 21st Century Fox, or 20th Century Fox, like, hey, we'd like those rights. Oh, would you? Would you now? And so they got this big payday out of it. You pay your couple $100 for the rights, and then you sell it for thousands of dollars. But so I don't know if that's where this is going, or if it's more of a revenge thing of like, well, if you want She-Hulk, then I'll take that name from you.
Right.
Although it wouldn't be a big deal for her to change her name. I would feel like she could legally, she being Jennifer, could just legally call herself whatever, Hulk 2 or whatever, and then everyone would still call her She-Hulk. Right.
To me, the more important thing is that was dismissed. I want to see that trial. I want to see how she got this. She broke through property. She threw things at people. You know what? Why is she free?
I mean, I guess the answer is the DA's office decided not to retry her. Because the case got thrown out, right? It was like, oh, well, She-Hulk saved the jury, so we can't do this case. We'll have to do a mistrial and then retry it.
Right.
So I guess the DA
she
was
wasn't involved with that case, presumably.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. It's the show.
Yeah.
It's the comedic premise. There's going to be a lawsuit where Titania sues She-Hulk, and that will be the next episode.
Yeah. So I wish they were doing more work on the show. That it could be up to the quality of other. There are things I like that occur in there. But I like the actors and stuff like that. But I just wish it was better.
Agreed. Yeah, there's a mediocrity about it. It feels at times a little half-assed. At times a little like, hey, none of this matters, so who cares? Yeah. Okay. If you say that enough, people start believing it. Like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. But it's what I like about it is that it is an attempt to do something completely different for the MCU.
Oh,
We're going to do an MCU sitcom. And you're like, I like that notion. Let's do this.
Yep.
Just the execution has been so far a little under par. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I don't know if you got anything else, good sir.
No, that's pretty much what I was thinking.
All right. Fair enough. We'll be back talking about this, talking about House of the Dragon, talking about Rings of Power. It's a busy time, Paul, for the Dork Lords.
Indeed. Yes, it is.
So we'll be back talking about all of that. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
Oh, sure. No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.